Hi everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you another weekend reading vlog. So for this weekend I do not have a lot of big plans. I do have some teaching work and planning to do as well. But other than that, I'm going to try to get as much reading done as possible. And I'm also going to try to edit as much as possible because I have a lot of reading vlogs I haven't edited yet. And I'm trying to catch up on that before it's Christmas time. So yeah, that's pretty much my goal this weekend. I have to admit I'm pretty tired today. This week has been a very long one with a parents teacher conference and a staff meeting and a lot of things going on during the week, and I'm really tired, but I'm going to try to get stuff done anyways. um I have been able to manage to read a bit of this during the weekdays, so I'm going to continue on this rule and try to read as much as possible. So right now I'm in the middle of reading Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is an arc for his newest book. I've got the great chance to be approved for on NetGalley, and I'm 50% through, and it reads really well. So if you haven't watched my previous vlog, this follows a lawyer who died pretty young, and he didn't have this great life. He wasn't a great person. During his life, he was always working and he was divorced. He ends up dying and he sees himself dead, and he's basically a ghost. His soul is wandering, and he gets picked up by a reaper who brings him to this ferryman, and the ferryman helps these souls to cross over. And we follow his journey with that and trying to deal with the grief of dying himself. And he goes through a lot of things. And if you have read The House in the Cerulean Sea by this author, it was a very feel good book, and the vibe and the tone and the writing style that was in that book are pretty much the same in Under the Whispering Door. So I'm really loving it. I rated The House in the Cerulean Sea 5 stars. It was just an adorable and cute and fun book, and I'm having those same vibes, those same tones and writing style, and the characters evolve in the same type of way. And I see a lot of things that are very similar, but at the same time, it doesn't discuss the same topics, which I really enjoy. And I'm really loving it so far. I am not worried that the second half of the book will be bad. I'm not worried for that at all. And I just can't wait to get my review up on Goodreads and on NetGalley. And I recommend this book to anyone who wants to hear it. Yeah, so I'm going to finish that tonight. But I also have some other plans for reading. So I started reading The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first book of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I started that this week. I'm only 41 pages through, which is the prologue and the chapter 1. This is my first time reading the series in the book form, but I have watched the movies many times before, and I really enjoy them. I am enjoying this book so far. The prologue was really, really interesting because it was all about the history of the hobbits and how they came to come into this world and this land, and what happened, and the main events throughout history, and how they came to be where they're at in this book. And I really enjoyed that. I really also appreciated how they talked about the big important families that were with the hobbits and what they've done throughout time, and who they were and how they function, which I really enjoyed. And I thought was very interesting as a prologue to talk about. The reading is not an easy one, so I don't know if I'm going to finish this one this weekend. Actually, I'm pretty sure I won't be finishing it, but I do want to get to a couple of chapters. It is written pretty small and dense, so I'm it doesn't read fast. It's 400 pages, but it reads more like a 600 to 800 pages if you compare it to standard, regular edited books. So I'm going to be reading some of that. And I also want to read This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab because I really need to get to Our Dark Duet, which is the second book of this duology, so I can complete the Buzzwordathon for this month, which is Dark. I also might pick up one of these two books, either Six Crimson Cranes or Witches Steeped in Gold. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to pick them up at all, but I have been eyeing them on my TBR card for a while this week, and I really want to get to them. So we'll see how the reading goes and if I actually get to them. So for now, that's it for my first clip. I'm going to get to editing, and there's also the live show for the Lord of the Rings, a read-along hosted by beautifully bookish Bethany, and she's hosting a live show for the read along of the first book. I haven't finished reading the first book, but it's fine. I know all the spoilers in them, so I'm going to watch the show anyways, and then I'm going to get to some editing and some work done. I'll see you later. Hi everyone. So we're already late in the day of Saturday. I haven't updated yet because I have been reading all morning. I actually fell asleep yesterday pretty early on, as I usually do, but I did read a lot this morning and I just could not stop reading. I needed to finish my book, and I did, and I'm really, really happy. So I finished Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I was a little bit scared that it wasn't going to live up the hype. I had read The House in the Cerulean Sea and it was very, very hyped. And once I've read that book, I understood the hype and fell in love with his writing and his tone and everything about that book, basically. And while I was reading Under the Whispering Door, and I decided to trust his writing, and I was not disappointed at all. The vibes of the two books are pretty much the same, and the tone and the ambience and the vibes and the characters, the way that he portrays the characters and the way that he writes them. There's something in his writing, I cannot tell what it is exactly, but I felt the same thing reading The House in the Cerulean Sea, but he has such amazing characters that grow so much, and you end up like reading about them and you don't realize that you're getting fond of the characters, and then suddenly out of nowhere you realize that these characters have grown so much, and I can't really pinpoint when that happened exactly during the book. So there's something there in the writing that he's doing really right, for me at least. I really adored this book. I did see the ending coming, but it was the same thing with The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I don't mind knowing the ending or guessing the ending, because this type of book is not something that you read because you want to be surprised with the plot twists. It's more about the characters and their growth and their journey more than the ending itself. Twice this book made me cry actual real tears. I think I've said that in one of my videos before, but I never cry like actual real tears when I'm reading books. I do with television and series and movies. Like, I'm a big emotional mess, but in books, for some reason, I don't know, I have never cried within books. Even if I was invested, I have never cried real tears. And TJ Klune was the first author to actually make me cry real tears twice. Yeah, this book is just beautifully written. I highly, strongly recommend this book. And the other thing that I really love about TJ Klune's writing is that he talks about topics and themes that can be very, very dark, and he turns it in a way that it makes you think a lot of on those topics, but it's not a burden, or it's not heavy. It's not in a heavy way, if that makes sense, which I really, really appreciate. And throughout the book, I think he writes a good balance between having some fun moments, some laughter, and some more serious times where you reflect more on what's going on and more philosophical things around the discussion. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's really the type of writing that works for me, and I cannot recommend this book enough. I will be writing the review for this book on Goodreads and NetGalley today, so you probably will already be able to go and check it out by the time this vlog is up. It's a 5-star read. It's one of my favorite. I will be purchasing this book for sure, and I know it's a book I'm going to want to reread someday. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful to have had this arc and that I was able to read it before its publishing date. So thank you so much to NetGalley and Tor Books for that. So right now I'm also starting this Savage Songs. So I did read the first chapter of the prologue of this book. I'm a little confused. I'm not sure how this world works, but then again, it's only like 15 pages. I don't have much thoughts right now. I'm just going to read on. I am happy though, because the writing is physically very easy to read. The editing is quite spaced out, and the writing and the font isn't too small, so it's a good thing for a change. It reads pretty fast so far. So I made myself a list of things I want to do this weekend. So I decided to first finish Under the Whispering Door, which I already did. I have some editing and publishing to do and to finish. I want to read at least 2 chapters of The Lord of the Rings, and then I want to read 2 chapters of the Game of Thrones book, because I want to read a little bit, but in order to succeed my Game of Thrones goal, which is to finish reading it by December. And if I never pick it up, I know it's going to be easy to just fail that goal. So each weekend I'm trying to read a couple of chapters here and there so that I don't fall behind on that read. I'm going for 2 chapters this weekend, but I might do a little bit more because it reads pretty fast, but we'll see how that goes. And then I also want to read at least 25% of this Savage Song, as well as 25% of 6 Crimson Cranes. So this one has been eyeing me on my TBR card for a long time, and I just really want to pick it up. So I'm going to read up until 25%, which is where I put my bookmark. I haven't opened it yet. But yeah, those are my small goals for the weekend. I know I'm currently reading 5 books at the same time, but I don't know. I don't mix up any stories so far, so I'm not too worried. If I feel like I'm confused, I might just stick to one. But right now, I want to start a lot of things and eventually finish them. But I don't know, it might be a psychological thing there, but that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do. I also need to do some chores today, and then tomorrow I might do some sewing, so you might have some b-roll of that. My mom came last weekend and she took a look at my sewing machine to see what was going on that was wrong, and I think she fixed it. So hopefully everything goes right when I try to sew my reusable Ziploc bags things. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to stop rambling here because I need to leave for the store and then get supper and clean up a bit, and then I'll read after, probably after supper. So I'll leave you here and update you when I have more. Hi everyone. So I just realized that I do not have any b-roll for this vlog. Sorry for that. Just coming in to give you some reading updates, but I did do a lot of reading. So yesterday evening I started this Savage song. I kind of fell asleep on it and then picked it back up this morning. So I actually achieved my goal of reading 25% of this book. I'm a little confused, I have to admit, with all the magic setting, and I'm guessing it's a dystopian setting, and I'm guessing at how the magic system works and the monsters and how all of this works, but there's still a lot of information that I do not have. So I am a bit confused, but I'm just going with the flow. It reads actually pretty fast, which is great for a change. And so far I'm having fun with it. So that's all that matters. I'm pretty sure I'm going to understand more about this universe later on in the book. But for now, I'm leaving it at 25% so I can move on with more books. This morning, I also read 5 chapters of the Game of Thrones book, which I was not expecting. I just started reading and I was having so much fun, I didn't want to stop to read. So I kept on reading and then realized I have been reading for 2 hours. And I just love when that happens. So yeah, I read 5 chapters and my goal was to read 2 chapters of Game of Thrones. So that one was achieved as well. Honestly, the reading today went so well. I'm really happy with how it's going. I also had time to upload a new vlog from August, but it's helping me catch up on my editing. And I did an Instagram post that I haven't done for a very long time. So I'm trying to get back on track with that. Today there was a lot of sprints, which was a really fun do, either for chores or for reading. I had a lot of fun. I also picked up 6 Crimson Cranes. It kept eyeing me for such a long time and I just decided to pick it up. So far I've read only the first 2 chapters and it's going to be an interesting read, and I'm liking the setting so far and I can't wait to get back to it. And then the other book I need to read is 2 chapters of the Fellowship of the Ring, the first book of the Lord of the Rings book. So I haven't read my pages of this one. That's where I'm at. I do have some things to finish doing and some planning to do for tomorrow, but other than that, I'm going to finish my day by reading and try to make a b-roll of me reading or something like that. I was supposed to do some sewing, but I just didn't have time. I chose to do some more reading instead. So yeah, that means I'm currently actively reading 5 books at the same time. I never thought I would do that one day. When I used to read, it used to take me like 2-3 months to read one book, and I had to renew my book at the library multiple times before I actually finished the book. And when I found out about BookTube, I remember seeing people that were reading multiple books at the same time, and I just could not understand how people did that. It was just beyond me, and now I'm reading 5 books at the same time. I don't know. It's just working. I don't know. I just have so many books that I want to read at the same time. I just decide to pick them up, I guess. I'm not confused between all of the worlds and the universes and the characters from each book so far. If I was confused I might put one down for a moment, but it's not the case. So I'm just continuing on maybe. So we'll go what I choose to do during the weeknights. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the readings I've done so far. They're good readings and I'm having a great time, which is the most important thing. So yeah, that's it. I don't have much more to say. I'll see you in the last clip of the vlog.
On my face and I'm only 23, and that's just speaking for me. You hit that certain age, it took to make a living wage, but I swear I just learned my name. I swear I'm not to blame. You're told no more fun, it's off to work. You need to earn it, don't have to have any work, but I don't play that way. I'm always gonna say, take us back to when we were kids. We didn't know how good we had it. Now we're all just sick and saddened. Take us back to before we grew up, before our problems blew up. We really needed that. Hey, heads up, heads up. What would you say to your younger self? Life's like a paper plane, don't steer the way. You're told no more fun, it's off to work. You need to earn it, don't have to have any work, but I don't play that way. And I'm always gonna say, take us back to when we were kids. We didn't know how good we had it. Now we're all just sick and saddened. Take us back to before we grew up, before our problems blew up. We really needed that. Hey, heads up. And I keep telling myself, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, yeah. And even when the sky keeps falling on my head, I'm standing on my feet and reaching for the stars, yeah. Take us back to when we were kids. We didn't know how good we had it. Now we're all just sick and saddened. Take us back to before we grew up, before our problems blew up.
everyone. So I just wanted to quickly close this vlog before I get to the next one. This week has been a very tough one. Um, it was a tough week at school and a tough week at home as well. So there was there was a lot of things going on this week. So I'm quite glad the week is over, so we can move on to more positive and less tiring things. But I did manage to read a bit during the week, which I'm quite happy with because lately in the last few weeks, I have not been able to read much during the week. So there's progress. So let's go through all the books I've read and the progress I've made. So I managed to read almost 50% of This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This is the first book I'm reading from this author. I have never read any of her books before, and I know that this one is YA, and I do have mixed feelings about this one. So I have many issues with this book, even if I'm enjoying the read. It actually reads really, really fast. So that's a great thing that I'm enjoying about this book. But I have been confused about the world since the beginning of the book. And I'm still confused, and we're 50% through. I do understand that sometimes some authors don't want to be too info dumpy about their worlds and want to get the reader into it throughout the book and the story, which I totally get, because when books are too info dumpy, it's slow and not always fun. But here I was expecting a little bit more information, and I expect to understand the world pretty well when I'm 50% through. There are a lot of things that are explained in this, but there's still a lot of things that are not explained, and it's annoying me a lot. I often feel confused because I'm not sure how all of this works. And this follows two point of views, and one of them I just can't stand. So we follow Kate, who is from the North City District, and we follow August, who is from the South City District. And it's set in a dystopian type of world where there's this big phenomenon that they call that an event that happened some years ago. And even at 50% through, I still don't know what that phenomenon was and what was the specifics of that event. It just says that something happened and some monsters came alive and they were at wars against those monsters, and there were some leaders that were at war at each other. The city is called Variety, and both of those leaders have made peace and they made a truce. So one of the leader and their followers are in the north part, and the other leader and their followers are in the south part of the city. And there's like red zones and green zones where there's more monsters, and it's those monsters are tied to people's sin. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it shows that how much I'm just really confused. So we follow Kate, who is from the north part of the city, and she's the daughter of the leader of that part of the city. And we also follow August, who actually is one of the monsters, who's actually one of the three type of monsters that are usually hunted, but he is one of the rarest form of monsters, and he's hiding under the protection of the South City leader, if that makes sense. I really enjoy August's character because there's this complex depth in it where he's questioning humanity and his monster status, and where he fakes humanity and what's real, what's not real, which I really enjoy in this. But Kate's character, which is 100% human, I find her really annoying, and she is incoherent, which, if you have been following me and watching my videos, you know that everything needs to be coherent so I can enjoy it. And I just can't stand when it's not coherent and true to the character, and when characters don't act in a coherent way that this character is supposed to act, if that makes sense. And yeah, Kate is just really annoying, and I just can't find it in me to enjoy her. Yeah, so far it's a 3 star, maybe 3.5. We'll see how it goes. I'm still going to finish the series, and hopefully it does pick up a little later. Yeah, I'm still enjoying it for what it is, though. Um, Even if I find Kate to be really annoying, I'm still enjoying the read. I think mostly because of the fast pace of the book. I also read 25% of Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. So this is a retelling of an Indian folklore, and it follows Shiori, the youngest of 7 siblings, who are the children of this world's emperor, and their mother died some years ago, and the emperor remarried, and magic is frowned upon in this world. And Shiori does have some magical abilities, and she is cursed by her stepmother, and she turns her 6 brothers into cranes, and Shiori needs to come back home. She's far, far away, and she needs to come back home, but she's not allowed to speak at all because every word she speaks will get one of her brother killed, and she needs to get back home and reverse the curse. I am really enjoying this so far. I love the writing style, which is really interesting, and it's also a pretty fast read. I cannot wait to read more and see what's going to come through. Um, there's also a dragon involved in this story, which I really love. I was not expecting that. So, yeah, I really love this book so far. It's at least a 4 or 5 star read. It will depend on how the story goes from here. I know that it's a duology, and I'm not sure when the second book is going to come out, but for now, I'm really enjoying it. And then finally, I read a couple of chapters of The Fellowship of the Ring, which is book 1 of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I am still enjoying this book pretty much. There are a lot of things that are pretty different from the movies, which is really fine. This is a total different type of book. It's definitely not a book for everyone. It's very high fantasy and epic fantasy, and there's a lot of world building, like a lot. But I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings movies, so quite happy that I'm learning more about this world. And I do not mind the writing, which is not a casual writing, but I'm still really enjoying it. There's a lot of differences, but I'm trying to separate myself from the actual movies because I try not to be disappointed from movies and books adaptations, because I believe that a movie adaptation is actually a point of view of one person, and it makes no sense to me to have a movie adaptation from a book that's just the exact same replica of the book. It's it's first of all really impossible to do because a book will have more words and more building in it than you can actually put in a movie, and there would be no point if you just make an if you would just make adaptations just for the sake of making adaptations. The point of making a movie adaptation is to put your own vision and your own point of view of the original, put it throughout your own lens. That's what makes an adaptation interesting, in my opinion. So I don't mind that at all. I find it very interesting to have another point of view, and like the time frame in this book is really different from the movies. But I think I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm going to finish this book by the end of the month. Hopefully I will, because I do want to start the second book. But I honestly thought it was going to be way harder to read, and it's not as hard as I was expecting it to be. So I'm just really happy with the progress I've made so far. So that's all good. So that's all I've read so far this week. I'm pretty happy with my reading, and especially considering that I've been having a really tough week. I still have a week left before the end of the month, so I'm going to sprint through those 5 current reads, and hopefully I can get it done by the end of the month. And I will definitely read a lot during the weekend. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog, even if I didn't have much b-roll and I was only updating you on my reads. If you've made it this far and you want to leave a comment, please leave in a wizard emoji because of all the magic I've been reading. Yeah. So you can leave a wizard emoji in the comments, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.